With the launch of Horizon Forbidden West just over a week away, we thought it would be a nice idea to think about all of the things that we're excited for and compile the top 10 into a video to mark our excitement for the release of this game. So me and Tyler sat down and compiled a list. And in today's video we're going to give you that list because, after all, that's what you came here for. We're trying out a new format for the 4 Pillars Network, so if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to let us know in the comments section what games you want us to do videos in this format for. It doesn't necessarily have to be in anticipation, it could be focusing on a different aspect entirely. All things going well, this won't be the only video on this channel in this format, so it's always good to get some form of community input on this sort of stuff. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there and stop chewing your ear off on that, because let's get to the meat of this video. Please sit back, get yourself a coffee or something and enjoy top 10 things to look forward to in Horizon Forbidden West.
Hey guys, it's Tyler here with the first of the top 10 things we're excited about in Horizon Forbidden West, which is of course the new machines. Yes, one of the biggest selling points of this game is the big robot dinosaurs, and that's got to be something we're very excited about. There's lots of new, really cool ones that we've already seen from these trailers, and I'm sure there's going to be stuff we stumble upon throughout the game once it's released. We've got that big cobra-looking serpent thing, the big bloody elephant as well. Like, there's so many cool ones you see. There's a lot of verticality in this game with the air and underwater. That then adds new machines as well to not just fight but then mount. And these machines, especially those larger ones, there was such a tactical element of the combat. You had to learn of how to deal with them and how to fight them. They all had different weaknesses and you needed different weapons to sort of take them on. So by adding these new machines in, of course, that adds new challenges to the combat system. So it then just builds and builds and builds on the game. So I'm really excited to see these new machines in Horizon Forbidden West and see how we take them on, but also maybe ally with them, with especially the air mounts, and explore that aspect of the world as well.
The second thing we're excited for is the opportunity to delve into more Cauldrons and learn more overrides and challenge ourselves further with these new machines, because that's what the Cauldrons were good for, really. They were there to give you a bit of a challenge and reward you by making your life easier, because you could then override the machines that were made in that specific Cauldron, and going forward that could be an interesting concept with all the different kinds of machines and what they could be used for, and the more variety and, as Tyler said, the verticality of the game now, which will make the opportunities that come with overriding newer machines more varied, but alongside that it will provide benefits, and also we get to challenge ourselves in the process, which is the entire point of the Cauldrons in the first place. It's also exciting to think about if any more benefits could come from raiding these Cauldrons. For example, maybe there'll be benefits that go beyond just overriding machines. On more of a speculation front, it will be exciting to see how Guerrilla Games can advance the Cauldrons as a mechanic, how they can change it to make it a little bit more interesting going forward, so it's not just the same thing but with new robot dinosaurs. But even if it is just more of the same, that's okay, because overriding different types of machines comes with its own benefits, and having a process to unlock that so it's not just off the bat makes it feel rewarding. So in reality, this is an extension to point number 1, but don't tell Tyler that because he will slap me.
The next thing we're looking forward to in Horizon Forbidden West is the continued world building. Now, this is one that's really exciting for me, because what Horizon Zero Dawn did so well was build a universe. What set it apart was when you entered this world, you didn't know a lot about it. Now we do know a lot more about the world of Horizon, where it's set, where we are in this universe, in a timeline, what the machines are, and where it all came from. We have a lot of information going into this game. So what I'm excited about this world building is, one, this new region in Forbidden West, but also finding out these new mysteries, and the world building contributes to all of that. And that can be as simply as when you first played Zero Dawn and you knew there was mountains and you knew there was grassy fields and forests, but then you see over a cliff face this desert and this giant city of Meridian. You see the cultures and the world that is Zero Dawn. And in Forbidden West, I look forward to not just exploring what we've seen in these trailers with the beaches and the forests and the oceans and the air and some old ruins, but stumbling upon these different cultures, different tribes and different people, the good and the bad, and the lore that is behind that, the different traditions that are behind those that add to the world, that add to the universe, and where they got it from, because a lot of these tribes, depending on where they are based, could have gotten it from cities or ruins from the old world and different information they got from that. How does that contribute to it? How does it connect to what came before? And that's also really exciting. Being able to explore the old ruins of the old ones. That's adding to the world building as well. There's so much to it. It's not just traversal of the landscape. It's not just the traversal of the ruins. It's also the different peoples and tribes and machines. It's everything all encumbered within the open world of Horizon Forbidden West. And that just continues to build, and I'm really excited for that in both story and in gameplay.
The next thing we're excited about is the improvements to melee combat, which is emphasised by the fact that there is going to be a melee arena, which implies that that gameplay has been improved from the afterthought that it was in Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, the melee combat in Zero Dawn was very much so not a priority. It didn't take away from the game by not being too intricate or detailed, but I could definitely see some improvements, especially when facing down smaller machines and human enemies, if the melee combat was a bit deeper in that game. However, unfortunately it wasn't. It didn't take away from the experience much, but it's good to see that being addressed in Forbidden West. I suppose what I'm trying to say is it looks as if they have refined the melee especially to make it a bit more fun and feel more like a plausible avenue rather than a hack and slash for if it's appropriate. And from the melee we've seen in the Horizon Forbidden West content shown to us, it's clear that there are going to be improvements, but furthermore, if there's a melee arena in the game, which there is, it means they're confident in those improvements as its own gameplay element that doesn't require the archery to be high quality. Like I said, Zero Dawn didn't necessarily suffer for having rather simplistic melee, but the improved system could definitely go a long way in improving the overall combat of Horizon Forbidden West, and that's what I'm excited for.
The next thing on the list is Traversal. I've touched on it a couple of times. What Horizon Forbidden West looks to me it's doing is way more than just simply what we see from open world game is a really expansive world. What sets a game like this apart to me is the verticality of the traversal throughout this game. It's not just, of course, you can have some mounts and it looks like they've improved the gameplay, especially with combat on your mounts and exploring the different world and traveling great distances in amongst the world. It's also the verticality of that with the traversal. The parkour system looks well improved. The climbing and then leaping off things, you've got your shield parachute, that then adds to the different ways you can traverse, both fast pace, in combat, all that sort of thing. We've seen how it works that way. To add underwater gameplay and going there to travel and traverse and the different ways you go about doing that. The verticality adds a huge dimension to the expansiveness of this world that we don't always see in video games today. And it's something that I know can be explored really well in this game. We've obviously got these massively tall ruins as well, and we have mounts that we can fly on to go and explore those as well. So there's the highs, there's the ground, there's the lows. There's so many ways to traverse with not just mounts, but also that shield parachute. The climbing mechanics look better. The general movement of Aloy looks better. There's a lot to be excited about, and Traversal's definitely something that stands out to me of what's going to set this game apart and that we are excited about heading into this game.
Not to tread on Tyler's feet, but that underwater gameplay aspect is something to be excited for in itself, because underwater exploration is something we didn't get in Horizon Zero Dawn, so having it in Forbidden West is something new and exciting to explore. It's a new means to explore this world and see what's left behind under the water, and it's always interesting to see a game pull off underwater exploration well, whereas in other games, say for example Skyrim, it's there but there's a grand total of fucking nothing to find down there, besides from the occasional chest maybe. But in this game it seems vibrant, it seems like an ecosystem in itself, and it'll be interesting to see what kinds of machines we can come across whilst exploring the underwater areas. And while I believe that Tyler uses the word verticality far too much, I think it's his favourite word by this point, it's a fair point as well, because the underwater gameplay is an expansion of that verticality from what we got in Zero Dawn. But if you feel as if that point's too much of a rehash, allow me to throw in a bit of an honourable mention. Nashir Dalal has joined the cast for this game, and He's the actor who played Charles Smith in Red Dead Redemption 2 for the people who don't know, and he appears to be in absolutely everything these days, with that nice, smooth, bassy voice.
Let's see how this thing likes the taste of metal!
In reality, it's neither here nor there, but if you had a drink for every single game this man is in, then you'd have a significant long-term alcohol problem. Anyway, let's move on.
Next on the list is character and weapon customization, something I really enjoyed in Zero Dawn and many of our RPG games that we like to play is character customization. We got the Shield Weaver armor as the main final OP armor of Zero Dawn, and I'm loving that they've kept that in this game, but added a story layer to it to make it not have its shield anymore. So you still get that aesthetic look to it, but it's now a base armor. So we're going to continue to evolve Aloy as a character. There already looks to be so many different outfits for her, and then continuing to build with the upgrade system and the crafting system. I thought it worked really well in Zero Dawn. I don't necessarily believe it needs to be massively overhauled. I'm just excited to see what additions are being put into it. What's going to be the endgame armor in this game? What's the vibe and style going to be? I'm excited to see the new weapons and the things you can craft within those weapons. There were so many cool ones to fight these machines, and then as well in the hand-to-hand, what can be customized there. I'm looking forward to seeing the crafting system. I'm looking forward to seeing the new weapons and maybe more detailed crafting within that. But what we have seen is certainly character customization with armor pieces and outfits, and they look awesome, and I can't wait to delve into that. Once again, it's something I enjoyed thoroughly in Zero Dawn. Haven't seen a lot of it yet in Forbidden West, but you know it's in there. I'm excited to see where that goes as well.
Naturally, a major thing to be excited for is the storytelling of Horizon Forbidden West, that continuation of Aloy's journey and where that leads specifically, especially considering there's the return of characters such as Erend and Val, and one thing I noticed about them is that they have focuses now, which means that Aloy has taken time to enlighten them about some things, and so maybe there's a little bit more of a dynamic there that doesn't necessarily rely on Silence being the only other person Aloy can speak to who knows what the crack is, especially considering Silence is not a man that you get the feeling you can trust. So I cannot wait to see the continuation of Aloy's journey and see how the bond grows with these characters and between these characters. And it'll also be interesting to see how the narrative justification for the continuation of the Horizon universe applies to the journeys of these characters, both personally and together. So the continuation of Aloy's journey, plus these characters returning, and now they're more enlightened to the truth behind the world, indicated by their use of focuses and overriding machines, can only enrich that journey.
Next on the list, and my final one, is the old world. So we're talking the different AIs, we're talking Elizabeth, and what happened to the old world. There's still plenty of mysteries that need to be solved. And that's what I'm excited to see in Horizon Forbidden West. This past week on the As Always podcast, we had special guest Random Side Quest. Go check that out. He explained so many interesting points of the different AI, of Elizabeth, of what happened to the old world and the old ones, and what's still to be sort of discussed. And he has all these theories. I don't want to spoil them here, but go check that out. There's a lot of excitement going on. There's some different AI. We know Hades is around. We've already sort of delved into some of that, and we'll be discussing that later in this video, but I just can't wait to learn more about the old ones and the old world and why it all went down the way it went down. We don't know that yet. We don't have those answers yet. We know the what, we don't know the why, and we don't know the who of who caused this catastrophe. So I'm excited to see that and explore that in Horizon Forbidden West.
Obviously, the final thing that I'm excited for is finding out what exactly Silence is up to in this game. We know he's got his own angle, we know that he's exploring the knowledge for his own gain one way or another, and we know that he's a rather interesting but also somewhat sinister character with two sides to him. On the one hand, he feels like an ally, and on the other, you just can't trust him, and the game makes sure to remind you that you can't trust him with the Frozen Wilds and a character in that telling you that you cannot trust him, and it's as simple as that. And then in like a post-credit scene or something, I can't remember, for Zero Dawn, he gets the core of the defeated Hades, which he intends to use for his own gain again, or maybe something along those lines. And it makes me think that he could either shake out to be an antagonist, or maybe he'll still be an ally but begrudgingly. So I look forward to finding out what exactly Sylens has in store for Hades and what he wants to use Hades for specifically. And I also enjoy the mysterious aspect of the character as well. Few characters can be on screen for this long and still be this mysterious. Horizon Zero Dawn set up an interesting direction for this character going into Forbidden West, so I can't wait to see that explored and find out what it actually means, and find out more about what Sylens is actually planning now the world isn't being threatened, or at least not to our knowledge. Maybe this way we'll see Sylens' true colours, and that will shake up that relationship between Sylens and Aloy. Not that he was trying to hide the fact that he's a bit of a dickhead per se, but since their allegiance is no longer born of the most urgent need, it'll be interesting to see how that switches up and see where Sylens' loyalties really lie, because we know they're not necessarily with Aloy, they're with himself. And how will that apply to the story of Forbidden West? Who knows? Will he be a villain? Will he be an anti-hero? Will he be an ally? The possibilities with this character are endless, and I have a theory that it might be a mix-up of the three, because I feel like Sylens and his intentions are far too nuanced and ambiguous to be cut and dry. There are simply far too many directions this cryptic character could go in, and I don't necessarily think I could tell you which I think it's going to be outright, and that's what makes this character so exciting for Forbidden West, because the possibilities are endless.
Alright, those are the top 10 things we're excited about in Horizon Forbidden West. I hope you enjoyed this video and this format of video that we did here on the 4 Pillars Network. Ethan and I thank you so much for checking this out. Be sure, again, like this video, make some comments for the algorithm, subscribe to the 4 Pillars Network. We've got so many new and exciting types of content like this we're going to be producing on the network, not just podcasts. We've got fun Let's Plays, fun videos like this, and if you want to see more videos like this, give us some suggestions. Let us know in the comments down below. It's exciting times here. Again, subscribe, notifications on, like this video, comment for the algorithm. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye.